Hi guys, welcome to this update video this evening. I trust and hope you're doing really great. We're going to be talking about newly formed tropical storm Erin. So Erin became a named storm earlier today, and it is forecast to eventually become a major hurricane and the first hurricane overall of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. So we have some advisories out from the National Hurricane Center. Currently, there are no watches or warnings in effect, and I'm not expecting that over the course of the next couple of days. Long-term track still uncertain, and impacts will all be dependent at the time at which that curvature happens in the track. So we're going to be looking at all of that today. We'll also talk about the short-term update in terms of rainfall activity for the Caribbean and surrounding areas. So let's go into it. Okay, here we go. We're looking at the satellite imagery here, and we can see all of this moisture around. So within the vicinity of the Gulf and other parts of the southeastern states, there's a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity. And the National Hurricane Center has actually marked the area in the Gulf. So development is not expected, but there could be quite a bit of rainfall, which may unleash flooding in some areas, especially for Florida. And then for the Caribbean, there's been some afternoon showers and thunderstorms across sections of northern Jamaica, Cuba, and go into the southwestern Caribbean. We see a lot going on down there as well. Nothing too crazy across the Lesser Antilles. There have been a few isolated instances of showers and thunderstorms. And now there in the Atlantic, there is Erin. So Erin is a little compact tropical storm right now, and it will struggle a little bit for the short term. Especially with all that dry air around. So I'm not expecting any crazy intensification just yet, but as it approaches warmer waters and also those more conducive upper level winds and a lot more moisture, it is definitely going to likely rapid intensify at some point. This is a look at the 7-day outlook from the National Hurricane Center. That right there is Invest 96L. Another disturbance out there loitering, and then that area I told you about earlier, not expected to develop. It has near 0% formation chance. So as for these two areas, they both have a 10% formation chance, so not expected much out of them. So Erin is really the main talk of the town right now. As we take a look at the rainfall forecast, along portions of the Gulf Coast, there could be some periods of heavy rain, and then also as we head up to the vicinity of the northern Bahamas, sections of Cuba, there could be some additional periods of heavy rain. Towards Central America, we're already seeing that little blob in the southwest Caribbean, so there could be some additional instances of heavy downpours in parts of eastern Nicaragua and Honduras. Northern South America will remain quite active. Could see some showers and thunderstorms in a few spots in sections of the Lesser Antilles and ABC Islands as well. Likewise, up to the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands. And for the southern Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, much not expected over the course of the next day or so. So that is what is anticipated as it pertains to rainfall activity. Now on to Erin. So as of right now, Erin has maximum sustained winds up to 45 miles per hour with some higher gusts. And it is a quick mover. It's moving to the west at 21 miles per hour. And we see that around Wednesday evening, it is expected to reach hurricane status and then major hurricane by this weekend, as it is going to be well north of the eastern Caribbean. So it is not expected to move into the Caribbean. We're going to be having a weakening in that area of high pressure when it moves into the western tropical Atlantic. And thus that will allow for it to make that curve up. And as I mentioned earlier, the exact track is uncertain. The center can pass anywhere from the edges of the cone that we're seeing. That's why it is called the cone of uncertainty, because especially for the long term, notice that it gets wider and wider the further out in time we go. That's because uncertainty increases. Because especially from a few days out, there's no 100% guarantee to say, yes, this is what will happen, because what we're talking about, the weather and changes are certainly possible. In terms of our models, though, we see that our models are in pretty good agreement in regards to the track of the system, generally showing it move into the west and then start to move to the west-northwest and then make that curve up to the north as we're going to be heading into the latter part of this week. And down the road, Bermuda should definitely be keeping a watch for the system because it can be an easy hit or miss. Very, very easy because Bermuda is such a tiny island and the slightest change would make a huge difference for the island. So we'll see what happens with Erin out there. Now, as it pertains to intensity, most of our models are in a good agreement with gradual intensification of Erin over the coming days, and we see many of them expecting that it will eventually make it to Cat 3 status, a few showing it either close to or at Category 4 status. And that will certainly not be impossible because look at this map here. We can see very warm surface waters. Right now, Erin is in an area where the water temperatures range between 25 and 26 degrees Celsius. It's just west of the Cabo Verde Islands, so right in here. As it's going to be heading further west, notice that the waters get warmer and warmer. So that will be aiding in a lot more evaporation taking place, lots more clouds and thunderstorms developing, and overall the system strengthening. There's also quite a bit of dry air ahead of it, as we can see here on this dry air graphic. And those areas of more abundant dry air are marked by those orange going to those red shadings as well. So that is going to be kind of helping the system to struggle a bit for right now. But of course, it will encounter more conducive conditions and eventually further intensify. So it's definitely something that we want to keep an eye on. It's out of the woods for the Cabo Verde Islands, but we'll be keeping a watch on Erin as time goes by. There hasn't been any major changes between yesterday and today, other than the fact that it's now an officially named system. But in terms of the forecasts, no great variations in terms of that. So I'll be keeping you guys posted as necessary. And that is it for today. So I do hope you found this update to be informative. But if you have any questions, you can feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'll get to you when I can. And remember to always do otherwise.